introduce yourself.
Ready?
Go.
Hi, I'm Wendy Kirk-Chumbly. In 2005, I was discharged from the military. I have AFib. I had a heart ejection fraction of 15%, and the PVCs of 6%, and I had to leave Virginia and go to Oregon, where I could consume cannabis recreationally. And in the process, I started taking Rick Simpson oil. And in 4 months, my heart ejection fraction went from 15% to 50%. My PVCs went down to 1%. And that's from using Rick Simpson oil. And now I am lots better. I was dying. I felt myself dying. My cardiologist has told me not to change any of my medications, that there's a possibility now that I could reverse my condition, which is unheard of. So I'm very happy, I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful.
And what was that he told you when you went to see him for your test?
One time they told me that the head cardiologist looked at me and he says, "Wendy, you know I can't write you a prescription for marijuana." And I said, "Yes, sir, but you know I know how to travel." And then when I was better, I got in the car with my 2 shepherds and drove to Oregon.
And why Oregon?
Well, they have some of the best cannabis medical, in the world, especially here in the United States. And I had been going out to Oregon 5 years prior, staying 6 months at a time and getting an education in cannabis, because it is an education and it's an industry. So I would stay in Oregon for about 6 months and then go back to Virginia, and every time I go back to Virginia, within 6 weeks, I started having the same symptoms as before that when I left. So I know cannabis does play a big part to the good, to the positive side, not to the negative. And I give my life right now the credit to cannabis because I'm still here.
And how did you use the Rick Simpson oil?
It comes in a syringe, and you start off with a grain size of rice, which is, like a pinhead, if you will. And it's a drop. I put it under my tongue, hold it, and did it 4 months faithfully every night.
Every night, so you could sleep.
And it helps you sleep, it helped with the pain. Didn't overnight happen that I felt better. It was a 6-7 week process. And I didn't know exactly how it had helped my heart until I did an EKG. And when he told me the results, I got cold chills, I got to crying, because I never expected to see my birthday next month.
Wow. How many years ago was that?
2 years ago.
It's 2 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, it was September of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was last January, so 2019, 2020.
And your heart?
2020. When did COVID come in? 2020?
2020.
Because COVID came and I was better, and it was like, Lord, I know you're not going to let me get taken out by a virus, So.
Not after all this.
Not after all of that.
Wow. And so what is the difference? How do you feel now after your medication with Rick Simpson oil than before? What was the difference?
It's 100% difference. I have energy. I'm not as fatigued. My blood pressure is perfect. I do not take any blood pressure medicine. I only take flecainide for my heart and metoprolol from a VA standpoint. But then I'm a naturalist herbalist, so I do take other herbs to support my heart.
Oh, that's right. Tell me about that time that you started retaining fluids.
Okay, so that was in September of 2019. So I have a defibrillator pacemaker, and I was retaining fluid, and my device, it beeps, and so I went into the ER, and I was retaining fluid, and they wanted to admit me and take fluid off of my stomach with a needle. I said no. I had to sign myself out of the hospital because they wanted to admit me, and I told them, let me try it on my own, and hibiscus tea and dandelion root is a diuretic, a natural diuretic. It doesn't affect your liver, kidneys or anything. So in 2 weeks I gotten off the fluid, and also had started the RSO at the same time. And then 4 months later I had the EKG, and my heart ejection fraction had gone, like I said, from 15% to 50%. And they don't know what to say except stay on the same medications that you're on.
And do you have any advice for anyone out there dealing with what you're dealing with?
I'm not saying that, you have to be real careful. So I have to research myself. So, it's not enough research now yet, because they're trying to say, that THC can cause AFib, and, I'm here to say it's fine for me. But I will say this, if you get too much THC in your system, CBD will bring you back level out. I've only had to do that once or twice with the THC product.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you so
you,
much.